We've gotten your new Trailmaster out of the box here and going to show you how to set it up for you, the rider. First thing to do is adjust the length for your leg. Once you get the stirrup length adjusted, sometimes we're going to have to make an adjustment in the fender position so that your fender isn't right on top of your stirrup. You need to have a couple of inches between the fender and the top of the stirrup so we've got plenty of room for the stirrup to turn here. Let me show you how we're going to do that. Okay, you'll want to remove the neoprene fitting cushions. You'll notice there's a couple of screws in the tree. Now these are your set screws for your stirrup positioning screws. We'll want to remove these screws. They're set in the middle hole. There's actually 3 holes, one for forward position, the middle one we call balance position, and the rear one we call a centered position. These are the 3 holes. Now, after taking the screws out, we're going to want to move the fender up. So you can see we're going to pull the fender up. If it reaches a point and stops, you can actually get it up an inch, even an inch higher, by looking under the skirt and pulling up the little metal flap that's there and putting the top of the fender on the inside or underneath the metal flap. That allows you to pull the fender up an additional 1.5 inches. Sometimes you have to take a screwdriver like this and hold the metal flap down. Take your hand and get the fender on the inside. Pull both of these fenders all the way up. I've lifted the metal flap on the top so I could get the top of the fender under it because this is a shorter rider and we need to get the fender all the way up. The higher we raise the fender, the lower the buckle gets. We want to get the buckle as low as we can get it down near the top of the stirrup so that it's not under your leg and it's not going to rub on your skirting or be on the side of the horse. So to pull the buckle down, move the fender up, reinstall the screw. Now to put the screw in, you'll first want to start it through the biathane before you try to screw it into the bushing. Once you have the screw started through the biathane, find the hole that you want to put it in and then screw it in. Now I might mention here, once you have your fender up and you've lowered your buckle down, you might want to experiment with different stirrup position settings and determine what's most comfortable for you. You can actually leave these screws out, and these fenders will tend to, when you're riding them, go in the rear, and see how that feels. But it makes it easy to switch your fender to different length positions if the screw is out. I leave mine out completely. I kind of like it that way. But if you want them forward, then you'll need to put the screw back in, and sometimes that means a slight movement so that the hole lines up with the bushing hole. But you'll reinstall the screw, both sides, start the screw through the hole, then position it into the hole that you want. Be sure to screw it all the way in. It'll go down into the biathane so that it's not a pressure point there. I've got this for freeing pads off. This is also a good time, if your saddle didn't come with these filler inserts installed, you can see there's a little void in the tree here. You can take your flat shim strip, cut a couple of pieces the shape of that void and put those in after you've positioned this. If you move them forward, you can trim this or take it out momentarily, but you're going to want to have these filler pieces in so that you get uniform support right through here with your fitting cushion. There's a little void molded in the tree and we like to fill these on all saddles. Alright, let me show you the difference that change made in the stirrup position and the buckle position. Okay, now you can see we've got plenty of biathane below the bottom edge of our fender now. This was the same length before. Our fender is shorter, but this is a shorter leg rider, so it will be proportional to the rider. And we've got the buckle is down here just above the top of the stirrup, so it's not going to be on the shin up here, and it's not going to be against the horse. So it's a good idea to move the buckle down from the bottom of the fender, between the top of the stirrup and the bottom of the fender, somewhere in here, and it'll stay off the horse when the fender's turned, and you'll find this is more comfortable.